Welcome back to Adjoe Academy. In the previous video, we discussed mobile attribution. Now, in this one, let's learn about metrics for rewarded ad attribution. It can be overwhelming, I know that, but understanding these metrics is the difference between guessing and growing. In this session, we are going to decode the metrics for both sides of the coin, user acquisition and app monetization. Let's turn that data into insight and finally revenue. If your goal is to bring new users to your app, which is user acquisition, these are the key metrics and the KPIs that you have to watch. First, installs. This is the most basic metric. How many times has your app been downloaded? Number 2, cost per install or CPI. How much do you pay on average for each new install? You calculate this by dividing your total ad spend by the number of installs. A lower CPI means you're acquiring users more efficiently. Let's take a couple of examples, right? Imagine 2 campaigns. Campaign A spends $1,000 to get 1,000 users. That's a CPI of $1. Campaign B spends the same $1,000 but to get 200 users. That's a CPI of $5. So which campaign was more effective? That brings us to retention rate. Usually, retention is measured over a period of 7 days called D7 retention. High retention indicates you're acquiring quality users who find value in your app. Low retention means the opposite. Fourth, in-app events. These are specific actions users take within your app after installing it, like completing a tutorial, reaching a certain level, making a purchase, or signing up for a subscription. Tracking these helps you, the publisher, understand user engagement within your app. And finally, the most important one is return on ad spend or ROAS. ROAS measures the revenue generated for every dollar you spend on advertising. For example, imagine this. You spend $100 on ads. If the same users that you've acquired from this campaign spend $150 in your game or your app, your ROAS is 1.5. If they spend only $80, your ROAS is 0.8, which means you're losing money. Now, let's flip this. From user acquisition to app monetization. How much did your app make from these ads? This brings us to the most famous metric in the industry, effective cost per milli or eCPM. It simply means for every 1,000 ads you show in your app, how much money do you make? eCPM varies wildly based on geography and the ad format. In 2023, eCPM ranged from 42 cents to $17 for a particular ad campaign. Here's an example. Let's say you have an app with users mostly from the US. Your eCPM might be $20. Now imagine another app with users in a region with lower purchasing power. In this case, your eCPM might be $2. Which means if your users are high spending and high value, advertisers bid more, and your eCPM goes up. If your users are passive, eCPM might go down. That was eCPM, which tells you about the ad performance. But what about the user experience? For rewarded ads, user behavior is everything because they have the control and they have to opt in. So here's 2 metrics you can use to quantify user behavior. Number 1 is user reach. In a given time period, what is the percentage of your daily active users or DAU who watch at least one ad? For example, if you have 1,000 users today and 300 of them open the ad, your user reach is 30%. This metric also tells you if your rewards are exciting enough. If the number is low, your players don't care about the reward you're offering and you'll have to change that and modify it. Number 2 is ARPDAU. How much does your app earn per user? Average revenue per DAU gives you that data. It is the ratio of total revenue to the number of daily active users for a given time period. This is the holistic measure of how well you're monetizing your audience. For example, your app has 10,000 users and you make $500 from that app in a given time period. Then the ARPDAU for that time period is $500 divided by 10,000, which is 5 cents. We've already discussed user acquisition and app monetization. Next up is quality. If your users watch ads but never click or install, advertisers will eventually stop bidding on your traffic. Your eCPM will crash. And so how do you measure quality? Here's 2 metrics that you can use. Number 1 is click-through rate. How many users actually clicked on the ad? Number 2 is conversion rate or CVR. How many users actually installed the app or bought the product after clicking the ad? Think of it like this, right? A shopping window in a mall. Impressions are people walking by. CTR is people stopping to look through the window. CVR is actually people walking in and buying something. High CTR and CVR prove to advertisers that your users are real, attentive, and valuable. This is why rewarded ads generally command the highest prices, because the user is in control and actually looking at the screen. So, as a quick recap, whether you're buying or selling, the math remains the same. Advertisers want ROAS and retention, publishers want eCPM, usage rate, and ARPDAU, and rewarded ads deliver both. Remember, data is only useful if you know how to read it. You need a solid grip on these basic KPIs and metrics to turn that raw data into more revenue. That's all for today, folks. Keep an eye out for the next episode, and thank you for watching Adjoe Academy.